Hi there, I'm Stuart Vermaak. I'm the Food Safety Agent with Virginia Cooperative Extension here in Loudoun County. Today we're going to be doing a recipe to showcase the great ostrich meat that came from Blue Mojo Farm. So we're going to be making some ostrich meatballs that we're going to be having in a brown rice bowl. The very first thing we're going to do, as we should always do when we start cooking, is we're going to wash our hands. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's very important as we're washing our hands that we're actively scrubbing, trying to get into all of those nooks and crannies. And it's important that we're doing this for at least 20 seconds. Alright, so now that we've done that, and before we make the meatballs themselves out of that wonderful ground ostrich meat, we're going to go ahead and make a kind of a sauce topping for this brown rice bowl. And it's called tzatziki. Okay, it's actually a very healthy thing to be making. So the main thing that it's comprised of is some yogurt here. We're going to be using a non-fat yogurt, trying to reduce the amount of fat that we're taking. And then it's just full of really nice, healthy vegetables and herbs and things like that. So the first thing we have is we have a cucumber here. And I'm going to go ahead and take the end off. And then I find that with when making this, if I just cut the cucumber up straight away and I do it all together, if I include the seeds right in the center of this cucumber, then the tzatziki tends to get really watery because those seeds and everything in the middle obviously have a lot of water in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to cut out the very center of it that's really watery. Okay, and then we're just going to go ahead and we're going to just cube up some of this cucumber. All right, I've got about half of a large cucumber. Kind of depends on how much you want to add to this. The great thing about this recipe for this tzatziki is that it's pretty adaptable. So you can use more cucumber, you can use less if you wanted to. The other reason that I decided to put this with the ostrich meat, and we're going to be adding some lemon and some mint. Some fresh mint, and it's a really fresh kind of thing to have, and I think it's going to go really well with that ostrich meat. All right, and so now what we're going to do is move on to making these meatballs with this great ground ostrich from Blue Mojo Farms here in Loudoun County, Virginia. And so as you can see, we have this great ground ostrich meat right here. And obviously ostrich is a bird, but it might surprise you at how dark this meat is and how it actually looks like ground beef, right? And so that's kind of the way that we're treating it, because it also tastes like ground beef as a little bit as well. Probably closer than chicken, for example. So all we're going to do here is we're going to add some flavoring to it. And so here I've got some fresh herbs. So we've got some rosemary and some sage that I've been growing at my house. But you can use kind of whatever you'd like, right? If you wanted to put some parsley in there, some thyme, some oregano, whatever you think. I personally, like rosemary and sage, and I had this growing in my backyard. So I figured that would be a good thing to add. So just want to go ahead and sort of chop this up a little bit finely so that you don't have any big pieces in there. And I've got probably about a tablespoon, but again, it's kind of up to you, but I would say a tablespoon of some mixed herbs. So you want to go and drop that in there. And then next, we want a tablespoon of garlic. And then we have about a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. And pro tip here, all of the ends of loaves of bread, keep those and then pulverize those up. And then you have homemade breadcrumbs. Right? Then we just want to put some freshly ground pepper in there. I would say, you know, quarter of a teaspoon, something like that. And then we want to put a little bit of salt in there. All right, and now for the fun part, we're going to get our hands dirty in here, and we want to mix all of that together. So once we've mixed all of those different things through, we're going to go ahead and just very simply roll these into some meatballs. And, you know, this is going into a rice bowl at the end, and so we don't want really big sort of spaghetti and meatball sized meatballs. We want to go ahead and sort of a small sort of size so that they're sort of bite size. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with the rest of them, and then we're going to cook them. All right, so as you can see, we've made all of those little meatballs, and we're ready to go. That was a pound of ostrich, and so, you know, it's made a good meal here. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and you want to get a pan on a medium-high heat. You want to add about a tablespoon of olive oil to the pan. And then importantly, we want to cook these in batches because there are so many. If you put too many in, you're going to crowd the pan. It's going to really reduce the temperature of the pan, and then the meatballs are just going to kind of boil in there rather than sort of getting nice and fried and a little crispy on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting these in. You can hear maybe a nice little sizzle going on. We want to make sure that we cook these through so that their internal temperature is 165 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 15 seconds. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands again, and then cook the rest of these off. And when we come back, we'll put together the final dish. All right, so now that we've cooked all of those meatballs off, we've made sure that, you know, they're cooked to the right temperature, 165 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, in the pan for doing a batch of those, it's probably going to take 4 to 5 minutes to make sure that they're fully cooked. I went ahead and washed my hands again, and now we're going to assemble the final dish here. So what's great about this a rice bowl is that you can kind of add whatever you want in terms of fresh vegetables and things like that. We've gone ahead and we've opted for brown rice, you know, a healthier alternative than white rice, some extra whole grains in there, extra fiber. And so we're going to go ahead and just assemble a few things. So I've got some olives here, you know, put some of those on. We've got some yellow bell pepper, just raw, lots of vitamins. Again, you know, whenever you're doing something like this, you want to try and have many different colors in there as you can. Okay, so we've got some green onion here. Put some of that in there. We've got some pickled onion here, and so this is just some onion that we sliced up, and then we put in a little brine of half water and half white vinegar. We left it for a while. Right, we've got some feta cheese here that we can put a little bit on top. Okay, and then we've got this tzatziki that we made earlier. We're gonna add some of that to the top. All right, and then we have these wonderful ostrich meatballs from Blue Mojo Farm here in Loudoun County that we made and cooked off. We're going to add some of those. All right, and there you have it. Ostrich meatballs from Blue Mojo Farm. Really healthy recipe to make. And so thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching this series on one of these products in the Virginia Farm to Table program on ostrich meat. Thank you very much.